Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy podcast. And my guest today is none other than Marshall Lawrence. Marshall, how you doing, sir?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
I'm glad you're here. Excellent. Yeah. So, when I first encountered your music, Marshall, you were really on the acoustic end of the blues. You know, you were doing with your wonderful resonators that you have. And then as I was watching, you started switching things. Well, I mean, you always probably played electric, but the electric came more to the forefront. Tell me about that. What's just changing it up for the sake of changing it up, or what?
Yeah, well, I did my first blues CD was back in the day, and that was electric, and that's just to give bar owners something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Covers. And then I went to acoustic, just fell in love with playing acoustic. So I did 3 CDs with that.
Yeah.
And like you said, I wanted to change things a bit and not just keep doing the same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
So for my 4 CD, I did electric, 3 acoustics, which did really well.
Right.
And then my 4 CD, I thought I'd do electric.
And that's the Feeling Fine album.
That's the Feeling Fine album. You know, I was advised against it, but, it's something I wanted to do. So I switched studios and put out Feeling Fine because, I just said, okay, it's time to switch things up, to grow. I could keep doing the same old,
sure,
which is good, or I can try to expand a bit. So that's what I did. And Feeling Fine came out, and it was a bit rockier. And really, that was a segue into my next CD, which hopefully will be out soon.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. It's in the mastering phase now.
Cool.
But anyway, we had this planned. So it's segue going from more blues to more rock. And so I did it, just, expand your skill set and say, okay, well, you know what? I'm not pigeonholed in a certain genre because I played funk. I played punk for many years. I played a Ukrainian wedding band. Years, made great money, ate really well.
I bet you did, yeah.
But and just as yourself, we have all these influences coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wanted to change it up, and thankfully, the audience liked Feeling Fine. Just like my 3 acoustics, Feeling Fine charted in the top 10 of Roots Music Report as well.
Yeah.
Good reviews.
Yeah, very.
So, job well done, I guess. And I had fun doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as the next album, is this are you going to be using the Marshall Lawrence band, or do you have other studio guys, or what's going to be like?
Well, when I was recording that record, I wanted to do a rock album.
Right.
So the guy that was co-producing Feeling Fine with me, he was in the band in the 80s that had some fame. Cam, anyway. I forget the name of the band now. White Wolf.
Okay.
And they had some fame. They opened for Deep Purple, ZZ Top, toured the world, but they just never got past that cusp, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were signed to Sony Records and so on. Anyway, so I talked to him and I said, I want to do a rock record. And I said, you want to co-write it with me? Because he's a rock guy.
Yeah, sure.
right? And I come more from the blues rock, but I wanted a rock record, right? So he said, yeah, sure. So what we did is we wrote about 15 tunes, recorded them. 10 of the tunes are going to be on the record. As I said, we're just sending it now for mastering.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while to get done, but you know what? It was more a labor of love than, let's get something out right away.
Sure.
Got some hired studio musicians,
Right on.
got some killer players, really from around the world. We had a horn section from the UK. We had, no, horn section from Nashville, string section from the UK, the singers from the States.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, when we started, he was in Iran.
Cool.
Iranian guy, and then he moved to the States. By the time we finished the record,
Wow.
so just a conglomerate of spirit
Mm-hmm.
and people. Studio guys.
Sure. Yeah. So was this all done remotely,
Yeah,
Marshall? Yeah. So he's connected with other studios wherever they were located, and they just did their parts, kind of deal.
yeah. Well, there's, geez, now I'm thinking there's a website out there where you can actually hire these guys.
Really? Huh.
And yeah, the name is escaping me, but if you get to me after, I can give you the name.
Yeah, sure.
Jeepers Creepers. What was it called? Anyway, guys from all over the world. And, bass players, drummers, singers, just whatever. So I went through, I really, I was going to sing it.
Okay.
And then once we did it, I said, and to be quite honest, I sing what I sing, but I don't consider myself a vocalist in the sense of, and particularly not a rock vocalist.
Yeah.
Right. So we looked at a bunch of singers and we came up with this guy. Now, this guy he sounds like, because of his voice, not that he's trying to, sounds like a cross between Dio and Coverdale.
Wow.
So we got him.
Those are good rock voices.
And, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, they just went up. Because, again, after a while, you just need to say, yeah, it could be the Marshall Lawrence Band. It could be, hey, it's Marshall. Or is it about the music? Is it about the song? And the songs were that good, and my vocals weren't good enough for the song. And I'm sure you go through the same thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're songwriters, musicians. We're pretty hard on ourselves, but that's the nature of the game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I just needed someone else. So I talked to my partner there, and he said, yeah, you know what? I think that's a good decision. Came up with this guy, and this guy just blew the roof off of it. So I'm really excited about it. It's all rock. It's all rock, more I'd say 80s kind of influenced rock with a twist. Yeah, with a twist. So there's a twist. There's always a twist with me.
Well, you know what, Marshall? It says something about who you are and your ethics as a musician, because you can do what many, maybe myself included, I have never been that extensive into the recording process as you, but you get out of your own way.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And that's a big thing. That's a big thing, because egos and musicians are usually, if you're doing word association, say musician, ego.
Yeah. Well, no, it's true.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, man. It wasn't easy. And it wasn't easy. So what I did, you hear it one way, you write it one way, and you can get this. And then you give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And put a different way.
Yeah.
Right? So there's this dissonance there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Really it's hard. It was for me, And I'm sure it's hard for a lot of people. You just got to take a step back and say, okay, yeah, it ain't me singing or
Right.
whatever, right? Because I don't do a lot of the leads on this record either.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
Uh,
something. You are really there to serve the song, aren't you?
yeah, because well, let's just go back. You hear the way, somebody else does it. It's not quite the way you would do it, or maybe totally not the way you would do it.
Yeah,
However,
exactly.
once you okay, turn it off now. I gotta go for a walk. Come back and listen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just like the guitar, I'm more I'll take a few leads here and there or harmonies, you know. Uh about my partner because I said he was in bands in the 80s and so on. And,
Yeah, sure.
so he's more of a rock guitarist than I am. And that's what this record needed,
Yeah, right.
you know. So then again, you say, okay, like you were saying, you serve the song, and if
Hmm.
he couldn't do it, then we'd hire someone to do it.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
exactly.
call it the Steely Dan approach, right?
Yeah,
Right?
no kidding. So let me ask you, when you put this out, since you're not singing vocals on it, are you still pulling it out as Marshall Lawrence, or do you have another way you're going to do that? I mean, I don't see any problem with it because I mean you are the brains behind the project, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a combination, me and my partner.
Yeah.
Uh, so we're calling it Marshall McLeod.
Nice.
Marshall's my first name. His name is Cam McLeod, but everyone calls him McLeod. So we're going Marshall McLeod.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're going to put the record out like that. And we'll see where it goes. We'll shop it around.
Uh-huh.
Anyone picks it up, I mean, hopefully, please. We'll see where we go from there,
Well,
right?
yeah. So that's an interesting question, and this brings me to the DIY part of the show. Um, because many of the DIY artists that I've talked to, you talk about somebody picking it up, as they say, in quotes I get in here.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
now, I've talked to many of the DIY artists, and some of them have said, I've had record contracts, and I said, nope, I don't want it. And others have said, I think I'll keep my autonomy kind of thing. So, is a record label something you would entertain?
I would.
Cool.
It depends on. Again, I never had one. I don't really know much about it. I've always done my own. Well, as you know, I've
Hmm.
always done my own thing, and never went the grant route. So did what I had to do, sell some guitars, whatever, to pay for studio. You get it, right?
I know what you're saying, buddy.
And
Excellent.
you know, and so I don't really know what it's all about. My partner does because he was signed back in the day, but those days are long gone in a sense of the music industry has changed so much since then. So
Yeah.
what does the record deal really mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be
exactly.
cool to get one. Hey,
Yeah.
but no, so we'll see. I think this record is strong enough and stands on its own. I'm really proud of it. Worked really hard, and really have to look inside myself, like you were saying,
Hmm.
and put your ego aside and just say, okay, well, it's better for the song if it's this way or that way. It's not all about me. It's about the music and the song.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, and
Hmm.
that's not a step to take, I don't think.
Yeah, right. Well, that's like I said, that's very cool. Now, it's going to be Marshall McLeod,
Correct.
and is there going to be a name for the album, or are you just coming out like that?
I think we're just going to leave it as Marshall McLeod since it's the first one. We'll see what we do if we do another one.
Yeah, yeah. So
But pardon me,
what's a probable release date that you're thinking about?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Everything is really loose right now. We're just getting ready to send it for mastering. When that's done, we're taking our time. It's slow, as I said. It's more a labor of love than you
Hmm.
know get it out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? When it's ready for this record, when it's ready, it'll come out.
Yeah.
But doing the do it yourself thing, I'm also recording a blues record.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and what I wanted to do is, I set up a little studio, blah blah blah. So this is all in house in my
Sure.
basement,
Yeah,
right?
no kidding.
And going to do some covers and some covers of my favorite blues tunes and
Nice.
some originals. Interestingly, when I started that project, I was coming out of we were coming out, the world was coming out of
Yeah.
COVID, so on, right? And I've been doing much during COVID outside of, just practicing and woodshedding and writing
Hmm.
and whatever. Uh, so I recorded it just me and my guitar in a studio.
Nice.
And then my wife and I started to build our studio, just a small, home
Yeah.
studio. Uh, and we were listening to it. And so she says, well, this needs a bass guitar. So I got my bass player in my basement
Yeah.
or
And
whatever,
away you went.
yeah, and he played and it says, oh, well, maybe we need drums. Let's ours and let's do it electric.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. Here we go. And then, yeah, your vocals are good, Martin. This is my wife. Your vocals are good, Marshall, but nah, let's re-record the vocals. So again, right? It just
Yeah.
never, it just never ends.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
So
it.
anyway, we're going to put out a series of singles,
Nice.
originals, and some of my favorite covers.
I love
That's
it.
where I'm at right now. And as you know, I've got a new blues band together,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting back in and just starting to get out there again.
Hmm.
Because like I said, during COVID and that, I took some time off from performing,
Yeah.
uh, not recording, but performing. And now I'm just, starting to get back out playing the bars, booking gigs. Well, you know the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there any touring like outside of Edmonton for you in the future, Marshall? Or you know?
Well, you know what? I'd like to bring this band on the road. Little jaunts here and there, right? Maybe get some festivals,
Yeah,
whatever.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too late now for this year, but next year, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you see the meme on Facebook. After you get to you can dig this, man. After you get to a certain age, you kind of look at things differently,
Oh yeah.
right? Yeah. So I mean, that's where it is. I mean, if we've only got 10 years left or 5 years left, what are you going to do with it,
Mm.
right?
Right.
You know, and your final day when you're looking back, are you going to say, well, geez, I watched a lot of TV and I love watching TV, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, which is what I've
Hmm.
been doing. And yeah, I'm proud of the work I've done. Or looking back, I should have done this, I should have done that. So I'm kind of there, if I've only got 10 years left. I mean, we're all getting up there, brother.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh, what do I want to do with that time? I have three sayings basically, and it's going to sound kind of corny, but what are your goals? What are you willing to do to accomplish those goals? Right? But when you talk to, and there's a third one, but when you talk to everyone says, "I'll do anything." Right?
Right.
I'll do anything.
Right.
But the last question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve those goals?
Hmm.
And when you get to the sacrifice, oh no, man, I no, I got to go golfing or blah blah blah, right? Whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
a sacrifice part. What are you
Yeah.
willing? And you've been at it a long time. I know you sacrificed. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, I sacrificed the fact that I can't get a job as a senior citizen, believe it or not. So I got to do something. So I just pound away with whatever skills I have in photography and design,
yeah,
and I do whatever work I can grab, and uh, because, it's a tough thing to face, that the world doesn't look kindly upon people who are
Yeah.
sometimes of our age. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I get you, brother. I get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's a stumbling block. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Hmm.
Are you willing? And you are, I know. Uh,
I am.
yeah. Are you willing? What's the saying? Walk the talk or whatever, right?
You
Some
walk
people,
the walk or you talk the talk, right?
that's
Yeah.
it, and yeah, we may not be playing, Rogers Place or big stadiums,
Yeah.
but even if we're just playing the bars, that's a slog.
Hmm. Yeah.
But at least we're doing it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Makes
No.
sense.
Yeah. Oh, it does. I agree 100%.
Go ahead.
I said I agree 100% with what you're saying in that respect. Yeah.
Yeah,
At least you're doing it.
you're putting out music, just you're prolific, man. You're writing, you're putting it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we do,
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get on, I got to show you something, and I wore it for you. I might have to move the camera.
Oh, okay. Halfway between Sudbury and the Sioux.
There you go. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the Sanche family and the Marcotte family.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, when we
between Sudbury and the Sioux is Elliott Lake.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
If you halfway between this, it's exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you I think I'm playing Elliott Lake in October. We're going on tour there for me and another artist for a couple of weeks. So I think we got an Lake gig coming up in there.
Nice.
Sometime. Yeah.
Well, let me know. I'll let my relatives know.
Yeah, thank you.
They can come out and see you.
I would appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Marshall, I mean, music has always been your thing, but you once called yourself a doctor of the blues, and I said to people, "Don't." He's not being egotistical here. He's a doctor in psychology, right?
Yeah, PhD. Yeah, but that name, and I tell the story a lot. But that name, a fan actually gave me that name.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was playing a bar in Kingston, Ontario, on I don't know, Wednesday night or something. It was dead. But this guy came in looking pretty mopey, and he sat at his like those bars that are just like you shoot a cannon through them, right? They're narrow, and
long, narrow ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was sitting at the edge of the bar, and here's the stage, right? So I'm watching him, and he looks like sad, whatever, right? So he's, enjoying, having a few drinks, whatever. And as we're playing, this is a funk band, but we played some blues as well.
Sure.
He was starting to get more animated in his chair, right? And the bar was dead. And so anyway, I came off the stage, and I started talking to him. And he told me a story, which was, he was going through some rough times. But then he goes, "But you know what? I came in here, and you healed me. You healed me. You're the doctor. You're the doctor of the blues." Right? So true story.
Yeah.
Right. He gave me that name, and it stuck.
Yeah. And it can stick. That's a good reason for it too.
And again, like you said, people, you can't call yourself that, Marshall. But you know what?
I can. Well, tell me, Marshall, that degree must make you uniquely qualified to try to manage in the music business today. I'll tell you that. You must have. I noticed you have there's many musicians. Of course, we have our grr moments, but I notice you're a pretty level-headed guy. You know how to. You take it all on take it easy. Let's put it that. That kind of thing. Never a big outburst kind of guy, and I admire that.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's perspective,
I guess, eh?
Like in the big scheme of things, is it worth losing it or frustrating yourself over what's going on? Are you going to really remember this incident that really got you peeved in a year, in 5 years? I'm still working on it. Believe me, I'm still working on myself.
Well, that's a good thing. You never stop doing that, right?
Well, that's it, But, and at the bottom line is, it's music. It's supposed to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not necessarily defined by your music. It's something that you do. It's a big piece of you,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, so just, carry on and keep moving forward,
Yeah.
you know, and see where it takes you. Like I said, I was told, well, I was advised, well, don't do the rock record because the last three records charted in top 10, blah, 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 right?
Sure.
And they know you as an acoustic musician, as you said in the beginning of the interview,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And I said, well, that's okay, but that's not all I am. And that's not all necessarily where I want to limit myself or where I want to go. Like when I did this rock record that I was telling you about, um, that was a giant step
Yeah, I bet.
and a huge learning experience for me because it's
Hmm.
different. The approach is different. The songwriting is different. Uh, everything. So I really put myself out there, got myself out of the comfort zone. But fortunately, I was with uh, someone that was there before, knew the genre, and we worked together and like big, huge learning experience and huge put your ego in your pocket, right?
Hmm.
And then away you go. And the record, I think, when it comes out, as I said, we're not rushing anything. Uh, people are going to go, that's not Marshall. What?
Yeah. That's good though. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see. And then the next record I am, well, that is more me.
Hmm.
Those singles that I'm going to be putting out, right? Some of them are recorded, as I said. Some are still stripping the parts away and re-recording them,
Yeah.
right? But
You kind of remind me of Bob Dylan's attitude. He's always going for the next new thing. He never wanted to play his hits, He wants to play, yeah, I got this new song, I got this new song. And
yeah,
you're always doing something new, you know what I mean? So when I
yeah.
saw that from him, I thought about you right off the bat. I said, man,
Right on.
that's
Right on.
Marshall.
That's
That's
that's a high compliment. Thank you. I don't know, but thank
Yeah, there you go. Marshall, I got one more to ask you here before we say goodbye.
you. All right.
Um, it- we're always searching for help, musicians who are trying to do it ourselves. What would you like to see, be it come from government, private areas, fans, anything? You know, what kind of help would you look for that came from wherever that could really, assist moving either recording or performing something along?
Well, there's a lot out there
True.
as far as grants, studios.
Yeah,
Uh, we're, one thing is we're doing and we're making the same as we were making in the 70s, in the
I
80s.
know.
Yeah. So that can go up,
Yeah, that can.
right?
Yeah.
Fans can keep coming out to our shows, supporting, buying independent artists' music,
Yeah.
right? Maybe sharing some of their posts on Facebook, like gig posts and so on. I
Hmm.
mean, there's a lot out there for artists. I haven't tapped, like I said, I've paid for all of my records myself. I never gone into the funding thing, probably because I was too lazy. Sold a lot of gear though.
Hey, let me tell
Finances.
you, that funding stuff is not as easy as it sounds. Like I said, the first grant I've ever been involved in that got successful was this
Nice.
tour that we were doing in October, and I had someone else who was very experienced. He's, my partner on this. And we're doing
Nice.
the tour together, and he wrote it, and he obviously knows what he's doing because I've written 4 or 5 grants, and you think I could get him to even say hello?
Yeah. It's tough. But
Yeah, crazy.
I think I think on a fundamental level, the biggest thing that we can do is, and we talked about putting your ego in your back pocket.
Hmm.
Put our egos in the back pocket and help each other out.
That's the big thing, right?
It doesn't matter if you get the gig and I don't get the gig, but to still support each other and, not diss each other.
Yeah.
I'm better. And you find a lot of that, there's lots of really good community, lots of really great people. But I think, that sort of thing is still out there,
Mm-hmm.
and it really shouldn't be, because you're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. Another guy's doing their thing, so we shouldn't really compare ourselves to each other, or be compared. Well, he's better than him, he's better than her, or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, the old joke, eh?
Show more love. There
you go.
Yeah.
The old joke, eh, Marshall? How many musicians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Yeah.
Yeah. Two, one to do it, and the other one to say, I can do that better.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone has something.
Yeah,
everyone has
exactly.
something that they do really well, and you can learn from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Marshall, tell the folks where they can find you and your stuff and socials and all that fun stuff.
All right. Well, just go online and Google Marshall Lawrence Blues.
Yep.
You'll see the links come up. You can go to my webpage, www.doctorblues.com, and it'll have everything on there that you need to follow me, whether it's Facebook, whatever, YouTube,
whatever the case may be, eh?
Whatever the case may be. So it's all there. Easy peasy.
There you go. Outstanding. Yeah. All right, Marshall, thank you once again for coming on the program. I do greatly appreciate it. And as always, we're enjoying your music. And folks, if you haven't checked him out yet, check it out. He's got a great catalog. And if you're a blues fan, you got to find this guy. Thanks again, Marshall.
All right. Thank you, brother. Peace on.
Same here. Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316.